What happens if there is a lien on your house when you try to sell it? If you are selling your home and someone suddenly tells you there may be a lien on the property, does that mean you can't sell? Does that mean the deal falls apart? And will you have to come out of pocket to fix it? Today I'm going to explain what a lien actually is, how often this happens, what it means for your sale here in the Louisville area market, and exactly how it is usually handled. Because this comes up more often than people think, most sellers don't even know they have one until they are already under contract. So first off, what is a lien? Let's start with the basics. A lien is simply a legal claim against your property for a debt that has not been paid. Some of the most common liens I see when selling homes are mortgage liens, tax liens, judgment liens from lawsuits, contractor or mechanics liens, and HOA or unpaid utility liens. And here's the important part. You usually can still sell your home even if there is a lien. But you usually cannot transfer clear ownership until that lien is paid or released. So how do liens get discovered? Well, most sellers don't know there's a lien until later in the process. Liens are normally found during the title search process, which happens after you go under contract. The title company starts preparing for your closing. This is when the title company checks who really owns the property, whether there are unpaid debts tied to the home, and whether the buyer can receive clear title. If a lien does show up, the title company will notify both agents and the seller. So does a lien kill the deal? Well, in most cases, no. A lien usually does not cancel out a sale. What normally happens is this. The lien gets paid out of your seller proceeds at closing. For example, if you are selling your home for $300,000 and there's a $4,000 tax lien, that $4,000 is simply deducted from your proceeds and sent to the lien holder. The buyer still closes, the lien gets cleared, and the new owner receives clean title. That is the most common outcome. But when can a lien become a problem? Well, a lien becomes a real problem in a few situations. First, if the lien is very large and you do not have enough equity to pay it off. Second, if the lien holder refuses to release the lien. Third, if there is a dispute about whether the lien is valid. In those cases, closing can be delayed while the amount is negotiated, the lien is contested, or additional funds are arranged. This is why title work and early preparation are so vitally important. So should you check for liens before listing? Absolutely. One of the first things I recommend to my sellers is making sure they know about any liens early before we go under contract. That way there are no surprises later, we can plan for payoff correctly, and we avoid last-minute closing delays. Sometimes sellers are shocked to learn about an old judgment or tax issue from years ago that they completely forgot about. So finding it early makes the process much, much smoother. So can a buyer walk away because of a lien? Usually the contract requires the seller to deliver clear title at closing. So if the lien can be paid and released, the buyer typically must proceed. But if the lien cannot be cleared, then yes, the buyer may have the right to cancel, depending on the contract and the timing. That's why handling this properly matters so much. Liens sound scary, but in most cases they are simply handled as part of closing and the deal still moves forward. The key is knowing about them early, working with a good title company, and making sure that your real estate agent is guiding you through it correctly. If you are thinking about selling and you are not sure whether there could be a lien on your property, that's something I'm always happy to help you check before you ever even list. I am David Hiddle. I'm your real estate specialist doing business as Shop Kentucky Homes LLC with United Real Estate Louisville. And if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe for more real-world answers about selling a home here in the Louisville area market. And I'll see you in my next video.